Good evening, yoga friends. Wednesday evening, 6 o'clock. That time of the week, 1 hour of yoga. I'm with my daughter Ella. And you. So thank you for tuning in. We're going to be practicing some yoga together. Wait a few minutes, as always, for the live participants to join. Good evening, Leora. Long time. Fantastic. Welcome. 45 minutes of yoga asana. Breathing through the nose. It's a rebellion for a lighter feeling. We'll get going in a moment. Great. Welcome. Okay, let's start off sitting. Bring your hands into a prayer position and just sit vertically, lifting. Set your intent for this practice. And take 3 deep breaths through your nose, breathing down into your belly button. Next inhale, lift your arms up, stretching up. Tilting forward, pulling your arms slightly behind your ears, reaching as tall as you can, breathing through your nose. One last breath. Back to prayer. And then come up to the front of your mat. Okay, kneeling on the front of your mat, spread your hands wide. Fingers are wide like a cat. Spread them wider than shoulder width. Your knees are together. And then stretch your right leg out behind you. And you're on the toe box. You're on the toe box of the foot. Foot's on the ground actually for now. Opposite arm forward, so left arm forward. Now I'm trying to lift. I'm lifting my shoulders up and I'm getting that front arm as tall as I can and as far forward as I can, stretching back into the heel. Can you stretch through the body from the heel all the way through the fingertips? Asymmetrically through the hips and the shoulders. Okay, back to neutral. Knees are together. Step your left foot back, toes are on the ground and centered. Right arm forward. Keeping that back foot on the ground, try and lift your shoulders and get that front arm as far forward and as up as possible. Really getting the stretch from the heel all the way through the fingertips. Breathing through the nose. Okay, back to neutral. Right foot straight out behind you. Left arm forward and the fingers are on the ground. So my fingers are on the ground, right leg is lifted. Now slide the front fingers as far forward as you can get them, lifting that back leg up. It's a strange position, just hold it there. Stretching from fingertips to the back of your heel. Okay, slide back up to neutral, other side. Lifting the left leg behind you, right fingertips are on the ground and slide them forward. Getting some length, using the leverage to go from heel to fingertips. Okay, back to neutral. Your shoulders, your hands are spread really wide apart. Your shoulders are slightly behind your wrists and your knees are slightly behind your hips. Okay, so we've got a little bit of length in our torso, giving our torso space to stretch. Pull your hips back, press your shoulders forward. So we're stretching our back. Imagine trying to lengthen the torso. Shoulders are pressing forward, hips are pressing back. Now keeping that, straighten your legs, driving your thighs back into downward dog. Okay, your hips are pulling back and they're lifting. Imagine someone's pulling those thighs back, stretching your spine. Lift your ribs a little bit and then get extra length. Can you synchronize pulling back to your inhale? So you're really stretching powerfully your spine, using the traction of the mat to pull your hips back. Pull the left hip back, pull the right hip back. Explore your body. Okay, step your feet together in the center of the mat. You're on high tiptoes on both feet, right leg up, reaching up into the heel. Picture your arms and your torso and your leg as a straight line. Lift the standing heel a little bit higher. Okay, drop the top leg, you're still on tiptoes with both feet. Left leg lifts up, moving from the thigh, reach all the way up into the heel. Legs an extension of the torso. Okay, both feet down, feet are together and you're on tiptoes. Bend the knees are together. The knees are bent and you're pulling back in a downward dog with bent knees. Okay, slowly walk up the center line of the mat, all the way to the top. When you get there, you're standing hip width apart. Bend your knees a bit and then use the two fingers on each hand. Grab your big toe, pulling up. Pull up on the big toe. Toes pressing down, knees are bent. It's kind of a strange squat. You're squatting, you're pulling up against this bind. Shoulders are pulling forward, hips are pulling back. Stay there for a while. Breathe. Okay, hands are down on the mat, broad, step back to plank. Flip over onto the tops of your feet. Press your hips forward, shoulders pull back, chest pressing forward. Thighs are lifting. Back onto all fours, tuck your toes, straighten your legs, down the dog. Walk slowly up the center line of the mat, all the way to the top. When you get there, interlace your hands behind your back, knees are bent. Up you come. Cool. Let's check in. Okay, I'm going to do some, if you've ever had anxiety build up in your tummy, I'm going to do some slightly strange confrontational traditional moves here. I'm going to get rid of the shyness, wrap up my t-shirt. We're going to be doing some tummy sucking. It's a strange move. Let's do it anyway. So I'm supporting myself on my knees. I'm taking a deep inhale. I'm going to demonstrate it once. Deep inhale and then I exhale through my mouth. Okay. Now I suck my tummy in under my ribs. And I lift and I hold it there for a while until you can't breathe anymore, and then gently breathe in and come up. Okay, so we can do it together. Inhale. Hands on your knees. Suck your tummy under your ribs. Release. One more. Inhale. Release. Strange but effective. Okay. We're at the top of our mat. Arms up, stretching up. Right arm down. Now we're stretching again asymmetrically from fingertip to fingertip through the shoulder body. Pull your arms behind your body, behind your neck, behind your torso. Other side, switch side. Pulling your arms back and stretching the distance from fingertip to fingertip. Both arms are up. Bending the knees down into Utkatasana. And you're in a prayer position. Knees are bent. Slowly come down, prayer to knee. Lengthen the back of your neck, so you're sinking down into the sitting bones, you're gazing forward. Hands down, step your right foot back, big distance. Okay, front knee is over the ankle. Back foot's as far back as you can get it. Hips are lifting. Hips are lifting. Can you lift those hips, keeping the knee over the ankle? Shoulders are pressing forward. Holding it there for a while. Okay, bend the back leg, step forward next to the other foot, left foot back, big distance. Front knee bent. Front lunge. Shoulders are lifting and pressing forward, stretching from heel to knee. Okay, step forward again, other leg straight away. right knee back and down. Lift your arms. Arms are stretching up. Hips are pressing forward towards that front heel. Imagine that back thigh is lifting. Activate the back thigh, but that doesn't actually lift. Okay, hands down, step forward, feet are together. Shoot the left foot back, big distance. Drop the knee, arms up. Hips pressing forward towards the front ankle. Hands down, step forward. Bend the knees, interlace the hands behind your back. Lift your shoulders, up you come. Nice. Okay, feet are together, we're facing the front. Step your right foot back, big distance, as far as you can pretty much. Check the alignment of the front foot. The inside line of the front foot is parallel to the mat, bisects the back foot. It's a big distance, this one. Arms out to the side. Bend the front knee. Bend the front knee deeply so it's over that ankle. Pull your shoulders a bit back so that they're over your hips. This back thigh is being pulled back, but the front knee is anchored. It's a kind of a real hip stretching situation. Hands are in prayer, good firm prayer. Fingers are spread, elbows and wrists at the same height. Front elbow to the front knee. Now extend the line from that back heel to the top of your head. There's a line here. Feel that line, lengthen. Back up to standing and to the front. Okay, moving deliberately. Step your left foot back, big distance, as far as you can. Arms out to the side. Stretch the mat with your feet. Front knee bends. Warrior two. Get your shoulders back above your wrists, above your hips. You're in a prayer. Front elbow to the front knee. Driving that back heel back, lengthening from the heel to the top of your head. Back up to the center, step forward. Nice. Okay, Utkatasana, knees bent, arms up. Let's keep the flow going. Arms down, diving forward. Step your right foot back, big distance. Drop the back knee, arms up. Okay, left elbow on the left knee. Fingers are spread for power. Activate the right side of your body, lifting. Lengthening from that back heel to the fingertips. That top hand goes behind you and you're coming up to warrior two, dropping the back heel down. We're in a prayer. This time that back elbow, the right elbow, goes to the front knee. It's a twisted prayer, looking to the side. Pressing the hands vigorously into each other, lifting the torso. Spin up out of it, stepping forward. Nice. Knees bent, arms up. Diving forward, hands down, straighten the legs. Step the left foot back, big distance, and then drop the knee. Arms up, hips are pressing forward towards that front ankle. Right elbow on the right knee, fingers are spread, and then activating that left side. Lifting the knee, stretching back into the heel all the way up to the fingertips. Drop the back heel back with the top arm goes back and coming up into warrior two. Hands are in a prayer, and then that back left elbow twists forward onto the front knee, lifting your torso, pressing vigorously hand to hand. Stretching from the back heel to the top of your head. Inhale, lift up, step forward. Nice. Okay, some balancing. Picture your feet as broad. Just try and spread your toes. Give yourself maximum chance. So we're balancing on our left foot, lifting up my right knee, interlacing my hands over the knee, and these toes are lifting. It's almost like I'm pressing down on this foot, but shoulders are pulling back, so the knee can't go down. I'm activating down, but I'm pulling back. And I'm, most importantly, driving through that standing leg like a taproot into the earth. If there was something on the top of my head, it would be lifting. I'm stretching through that standing leg while this top foot is active. Gracefully switch sides. Drive down the standing leg. Activate that top foot as if it's pressing down. But the knee's not moving because the shoulders are pulling back. There's lift in this tall standing posture. Okay. Tree pose. Doesn't matter which side you do. I'm lifting my right ankle up onto my inner thigh. Perhaps the ankle is slightly forward of the toe box. You can stand hand on your hips, out to the side, palms facing up, maximum balance. Or you can prayer, and eventually tree. Breathing is steady, find a spot in front of you, lock onto it and tune everything else out. Can you slow and deepen your breath? Can you feel the vibration in your body slowing? Prayer down. Neutral. Keep going. Quietly, smoothly moving. Left ankle up. Whatever variation of this pose feels good. Pulling that knee back does some very interesting therapeutics on your hips. If the weather's turbulent and you're not balancing, don't beat yourself up about it. You can always lean on a wall and try again tomorrow. Okay, one more. I'm lifting my right ankle up and I'm grabbing it. Left arm up, and then again root down through that standing leg. Try and find stability. Press that lifted knee towards the back and also like the shin. Press it away from you so you kind of, there's a loop going on behind you. I'm just going to turn to the side. You're standing and then you're activating that thing back. This should feel interesting tension. You know, the pose goes deeper as you lean forward, but for now, just stand where you feel challenged. Other side. I'm lifting my left ankle. Right arm is up for stability. Find your standing line. Find your stableness first. Only when you're ready, drive that lifted knee back and the shin, pressing it back, making a bit of a circle behind your body. Release. Okay, moving on swiftly. Feet together, knees bent, chair pose. Prayer down to your knees. Hands in the front of the mat spread broadly, stepping back to plank. Knees down, forearms down. Okay, so now my elbows are shoulder width apart. My forearms are parallel. Very important. Fingers are spread widely. Step back onto your toes. So we are in forearm plank. Feel the power of this position. Get your feet as far back as you can so there's as much length in the back of your spine as possible. Lift your hips and pull your shoulders back. Maybe you want to step slightly forward. Thighs are pulling back, ribs are lifting. It's dolphin pose. It's like downward dog on your forearms. Big shoulder opener. Lift your right leg, moving from the thigh, reach up into the heel. Maybe you want to point your toes or extend to the heel. Okay, lower the leg, other side up. Intense pose, and I don't want to stay here for too long. Both feet are down, knees down, wide apart, toes are touching. Come up onto your fingertips and lift your elbows like a crazy insect. Sink your groins down. Keep your elbows lifting so that there's opening happening in the backs of the shoulders. The modified child's pose. Sink your groins down, belly button presses down towards the mat. Feel the broadening in the back of the sitting bones. Okay, up onto all fours. Tuck your toes. Knees are hip width apart, hands are shoulder width apart. Right arm out to the side and bend the elbow. Now keeping it bent, rotate that whole structure down until your upper arm goes down onto the mat. Okay, keep this hand pointing up. Come up to the fingertips of this hand, supporting hand. That right arm actually can drape down so this palm of the hand is facing up. Can you see that? Okay, we're going to twist. Our right shoulder is on the ground and the right arm is out to the side. Pull your hips back. Can you move your hips around a little bit and pull them towards the back of the mat? When you're ready, you might want to lift your left arm up. Now picture that you're hugging a giant cube. Send your hands down the sides of the cube. Allow space in your upper chest shoulder area for the cube corner. Slide your hands far down the cube. Okay, hands down, back up to neutral. Center yourself. Other side. Left arm out to the side. Bend the elbow. Rotate the whole thing down. It would have been easier if I'd done this side first. Lay the hand, palm facing up. And on the fingertips of the supporting hand. Play around with the height of your ribs and also move your hips left to right, pulling them back. It's interesting when you're in a twist to lengthen through the twist. Very therapeutic. When you're ready, top hand goes up. Now I'm hugging a giant cube. The corner is up here, so there must be space for it. Can you stretch down the cube? There's an opening that happens in the shoulders then. Okay, hands down on the mat. Back to all fours. Straighten your legs. So step back into downward dog. Hands are broad. Feet are a little bit narrow together, so like my hands are wider than your shoulders. Feet are like hip width or even narrow. Can you walk right to the back of the mat and right to the front of the mat? So it's a really extended long dog. If you've got one of those super long mats, you're going to get maximum therapy here. It's a long dog. Step your feet together, knees together, and we're kneeling again. Right leg out behind you, left arm forward. Now remember this position. We're going to come back to this position. But the next move is bend the knee, reach back and grab the ankle, lift the toes, and then drive that shin back vigorously, lifting your whole chest. So there's the circle behind your body, keeping things symmetrical, facing the front, vigorously driving back with the shin, and then slowly release it back to that position of extended arm, extended leg. Back down to neutral. Okay, other side. Left leg is extended, right arm is extended. You're stretching from heel to fingertips. And this is where we're coming back to, right after we've grabbed our ankle and driven it backwards, lifting chest, breathing through the nose. Release back to extended arm, extended leg. Down to neutral. Okay, right leg straight out behind you. Keeping it hip height. Keep the leg straight and it's right out to the side, foot's facing the front. Holding it hip height for 3 nice breaths. Straight out behind you and back to neutral. Other side, left leg. First it's behind you and then it moves out to the side, keeping it hip height and straight. Activating into that heel. Behind you and down. Same again, other side, straight up behind you. On the exhale, it moves to the side. Inhale back. Exhale out to the side. Inhale back. And one last time. Great hip mobilization here. Knees back to neutral. Lift the left leg out, reaching out at the heel, and then out to the side, 90 degrees. 2, 3. Behind you, neutral. Knees wide, toes touching, child's pose. It's been a steady pace of work. Well done. I'm sweating. Keep it going for a little while longer. If at any time it's too much for the breathing, or if you find yourself gasping through the nose, give yourself time to calm down until you're breathing through the nose again. Okay, back up to all fours, tuck your toes, straighten your legs, down dog. Walk all the way up the center line of the mat. When you get to the top, feet are together. Your knees can be bent if you wish. Place your palms of your hands behind your calves, maybe behind your ankles. We're in a forward bend. You're going to grab your ankles. Now lift your shoulders. We're actually trying to lengthen our back here. We're not trying to go as far down as possible. We're in a forward bend, but now that we're in a forward bend, we're lifting our shoulders, pulling our hips back. Perhaps bend your elbows out to the side and see if you can bend your elbows forward. Does that make sense? It's not really about how far down we go, but we're trying to get opening and pivoting in the hips. Just hold it here for a while. Lengthen the back of the neck so you're looking back behind between your legs. It's an introspective position. Imagine going inwards here. Quite literally looking in on ourselves. Bend your knees, reach forward with the arms. Interlace your hands behind your back. Up you come. Great. Okay, a few vinyasas, just checking in. Hey Lisa, hey Ma. Okay, Surya Namaskar, variations, feet are together, synchronize the breath to the movement, inhale, stretch up. Keeping your back flat, pull your hips back, fingertips to the ground. Bend your knees, jump back to plank. Holding it here, breathing through the nose. Imagine that there's a rope underneath your hips pulling them up and back. Downward dog. Hips pulling up, hips pulling back. Walk up the center line of the mat all the way to the top. When you get there, step your right foot back, big distance. And the foot is on, the sole of the foot on the floor now at 45 degrees. The front knee is over the ankle, arms out to the side. Lift your shoulders up and then palms together. Front knees bent. So we're kind of in warrior one legs really. We're in a prayer and we're leaning forward now. Really activating that hip. Our torso is an extension of the back leg. Hands down alongside the mat. Step forward with the back leg and shoot the left foot back big distance. Sole of the foot is on the ground, so the foot is at 45 degrees out to the side. Front knee is over the ankle. Shoulders lift, palms together. Putting your hands behind your neck. That back thigh is driving back, but the front knee is anchored over the ankle. We're in a prayer position. And I'm leaning forward now, so my torso is an extension of my back leg. Hands down, step forward, bend the knees and reach forward with the arms. Hands behind your back, up you come. Nice. A couple more of those, just give yourself time to catch your breath, perhaps you're feeling a bit dizzy. Mountain pose, which is standing tall, shoulders on the side of your body, fingers are spread, palms facing the sides of your body. Breath is calm, your gaze is steady and calm. Your brow of your forehead is relaxed, your jaw is relaxed. Bringing a deliberateness to our movements, practicing that until it becomes second nature. Knees bent, arms up. chair pose. Sink the hips down deeply, like we're hanging from two parallel bars. Keeping the knees bent, arms down alongside. Step right foot to back, big distance. Interlace your hands behind your back. I'm leaning forward, it's like I'm taking off from wingsuit flying. Hands down, step forward, other foot back, big distance, front knees bent. Interlace your hands behind your back. Hands down, step your feet forward, bend your knees, reach forward with the arms. Hands on your hips, up you come. It was hardly Surya Namaskar, but there was movements very similar. Let's try and do a classic one. Inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, pull your hips back, forward bend. Inhale, lift, and step back to plank. Deep inhale, and on the next inhale, exhale, bend your elbows down to a press up position. Press up, come onto the tops of your feet, upward dog. Hips forward, shoulders back, chest forward. One smooth movement, move back to downward dog. Hips are lifting, thighs are driving back. Step your feet together in the center of the mat. Lift your right leg up, reaching up into the heel, and then sweep the bent knee through between the hands. Back knee is on the ground. Hands up. It's a half pigeon on the front knee. Back knee's off the ground for now. You're lifting with the thighs. Let's ease into that. So let's switch to the other side. Hands down, step back to downward dog. Lift the left leg up smoothly, reaching the heel all the way up. And on the exhale, sweep the bent knee through between the hands, back knee down, arms up. Hips are lifting, using the strength of the thighs. Smoothly, we're going to rotate to the other side again. Hands down, step back to downward dog. Right leg up, sweep the bent knee through. This time, keep the back knee off the ground. Interlace your hands behind your back. Now you've got to keep your balance. We're going to curve our spine and kiss the ground with our forehead. Keeping your balance. Hips are lifting, forehead's touching the ground. Not for long. Can you maintain steadiness here for a couple of breaths? Hands down, step back to downward dog. Left leg up, reaching up into the heel. Sweep the bent knee through. Back knee stays off the ground. Arms up. Interlace your hands behind your back. Rainbow spine, forehead down to the ground. Hips are lifting. Hands down. Step back to downward dog. Knees down. Chest down on the ground. Okay. Interlace your fingers. You can maybe want to rest your forehead on the ground. Wiggle your hips a bit, make sure you've got some freedom. Now, can you visualize breathing through your nose? Not visualize, but actually do this. Breathe in and try and drive the breath down into the lower kind of gill area, your kidney area of your spine. So don't let your spine rise. Can you breathe breath into your body? Using the breath to penetrate the stiffness around the sacroiliac joint. Just explore the subtleties of stiffness around the lower back area. Trying to use the breath to bring pressure into that lower torso area. Breathing breath into your sitting bones. Okay, bend the knees, feet together, knees are wide apart. Reach your hands forward, and I'm on my fingertips, supporting myself on my fingertips, you can't see them. And then lift the knees off the ground. Holding it there for a couple of breaths. Arms out to the side, be flying. Reach the hands back and grab the ankles. Okay, now pull the knees together so that we're not splayed apart. Everything is within the confines of the hip width. Okay. Using the strength of the legs, drive the shins back. Allow that to pull the shoulders back. Deep boat pose. Smoothly let go. Extend the legs and arms, keeping them off the ground. We're on our bellies. One more time. Reach back, bend the knees. Drive back into this boat pose. Actually, that's not boat pose. Relax. Okay. Roll over onto your back. We're in the final phases. A couple of back bends. Lying on your back. And feet are right up at your bum. Grab your ankles with your hands. Using the strength of your legs, really feel it in your thighs. Drive the hips up. As you go higher and higher, can you tuck the shoulders underneath each other? Lift the ceiling with your hips and your belly button. Get your chest right up to your chin. Lower your hips to the ground. Arms up and above your head. Feet are together. Lift your right leg towards the ceiling. Using the strength of your left leg, lift your hips. Driving the sole of the foot towards the ceiling. Getting the hips up. Okay, lower the hips. Both feet to the ground. Feet are together with knees bent. Lift the left leg, sole of the foot towards the ceiling. When you're ready, strength of the right leg. Lift the leg up. Lift the hips up. Lower the hips, bend the knee. Right ankle on the left knee. Now your arms are out to the side. Right ankle on the left knee. Keeping the hips at the same height, lift them up using the strength of the left leg. Drive the hips up, equal height. Keeping your hips up, can you change sides? Feet together, left ankle on your right knee. Driving the hips up. One more time, switch sides. Last time, switch sides. Both feet out, lower the hips to the ground. Okay, knees are bent, feet are together. Let your left knee drop down to the ground. Your feet are still touching. Right knee is up, left knee is on the ground. Using the strength of the right leg, lift the right hip up. The whole right side of your body is in an active back bend. Left side of the body is passive, draping down like gravity, hanging off the activity of the right hip. Okay, lower the hip. Both knees up, right knee down to the ground. Feet are touching, left leg is active, left hip is driving up and driving to the left side. It's a suspension, everything else is draping away from it. And release. Okay, let's roll back up to sitting. How are we for time? How are we for time? Okay. Excuse me. We're going to just do a few sitting poses, slightly cooler, before we really still down. Okay. Okay, we're sitting on our mat. Legs are straight out in front of you. Right knee is bent. Getting that right sole of your foot up into the thigh as far back as you can. Now actually use your hands to manipulate your buttock cheeks to spread your sitting bones broad. Maybe you're leaning forward slightly. You need to get breadth in your sitting bones in order for your hips to be able to pivot healthily. Otherwise you're kind of rounded if you want to be able to get the lower part of the spine forward. Okay, arms up. We're stretching up. And if you tilt forward, can you pull that knee back a bit? This thigh is pressing down. That thigh is pressing down. We're trying to extend downwards. This sitting bone, you're pressing that left sitting bone down into the ground. Okay, reach your hands forward. If you can, grab the big toe, but otherwise grab your shin wherever you're at. Okay, now it's a bind. It's a bind, a very often used concept in yoga. So we're using this bind to create traction. Now look at this triangle I'm going to talk about. It's the leg, the torso, and the arms. There's a triangle there which we want to grow. Okay, so to grow this triangle, I'm pressing down on my feet and I'm primarily lifting up on the shoulders to lengthen the torso. Okay, the toe is pulling me forward, but the shoulders are pulling back. So there's maximum tension in this triangle. I'm using the traction to lengthen my torso. Really pressing that left sitting bone down. Shoulders are lifting. It might feel frozen. Large areas of that lower spine might feel frozen. Just follow the cues and sit in this and activate it. Activate along those cues, no matter how deep you are in the pose. Stay there for a while, breathing into that activity. Possibly there's a softening. Doesn't always happen first or second time. Okay, release. Let's switch sides. Rotate so you can see it. Left foot right up into your groin. Broaden your bum bones. Reaching up and forward. Grabbing that front big toe. Lifting the shoulders. Hips pressing down. Those thighs pressing down. Try and link your activity of activating to your inhale. Release. Okay, final pose I think. Twist. So our front right knee is bent. Left foot flips over the knee and I'm facing the front. Now we're trying to sit as tall as possible. Hands are interlaced, pulling the knee towards you. Try and get lift in your torso and your spine. Keep that left hand pressing the left knee towards you. Right hand goes up and you hook the elbow behind that knee. Palm facing the front. This other hand goes behind you to support you. Now primarily we're sitting tall. Tall means I'm rooting my bum bones down into the ground and I'm trying to get lift and length to the top of my head, through the spine. Once I'm lifting and lengthening on the inhale, really dig the elbow in, fight back with the knee, use that to twist, wringing out your torso, wring out the body from the bottom to the shoulders, from the sitting bones to the shoulders. Don't worry about the neck. Twist. Look behind you. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, twist deeper. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Very subtle differences here, but you'll feel it. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, you twist. And then release. Other side. Left knee is bent. Right foot is hooked over the knee, pulling the knee towards you with the right hand. Left arm up, hook the elbow in front of the knee or behind the knee. Palm facing the front. Sit tall and twist on the exhale. Inhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Release. Okay, final pose. Some sitting and breathing. Maybe you want to get a warm top on, or raise your seat a little bit. It's good to sit on some books, or roll up the mat a little bit. Don't close this door because it's getting chilly. A few minutes of meditation practice. We are actively practicing doing less. We all need this practice. How to do less. We're sitting, we're trying to cultivate a sense of contentment, sitting here now, just for a few moments. Can we keep our attention in the room, within ourselves, linked to our breath if possible? Try and keep your attention single-minded. If a thought comes into your mind, if you become aware of it, wrap it in a blank piece of paper, let it go, and then bring your attention back to the breath. Try not to form any opinions. We're practicing a sense of observation just for a few minutes. So one nostril breathing to focus the mind and to cool and cleanse the nostrils and the septums, getting rid of any breathing disorders. Thumb, last two fingers like a crab claw, manipulating your nostrils as little as you need to, quite high up, very softly. Keep yourself centered, relaxed. This elbow is tall. You can switch sides if necessary. Block your left nostril, take a deep inhale through the right, pulling down into the diaphragm. Switch on the exhale. Inhale, same nostril. Switch on the exhale. Keep this rhythm going. Introduce a slight pause at the top and the bottom after the inhale, after the exhale. Softer, quieter, keep it going, switch hands if you prefer. A few more breaths in a more subtle realm. Let go of the hands. You can cup your hands together or you can rest your wrists on your knees. Check that your jaw is relaxed, and can you just sit for another minute or two, letting the ripples of the mind slow down a bit, like ripples on a lake. Wait for some stillness to occur. Namaste. Thank you for tuning in. Bless your sweat. that spirit within you which strives for a happier, healthier existence, more meaningful and pleasurable. Hope to see you again next week. Cheers. Have a good evening.